everyone. This is WABC Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg, and this is Weather or Not, an eventful week coming up. Now, first we talk about the dryness. A drought warning issued for New York City and the Hudson Valley. That gets added to the drought warning New Jersey's been under for a while. It's the fifth driest fall. We're at 9 inches below average for the fall, but we are in store for some beneficial rain. We're not talking drought busting, but maybe a little dent in the drought as we go into Wednesday night and Thursday. That's a possibility. But overall, we got to think about conservation. No, it's not necessarily the outdoor watering season, but maybe because it's been warmer, you are still watering or trying to keep things damp in terms of guarding against a brush fire near you. Well, you want to try to either pause or suspend that if you can and winterize those irrigation systems. Sweep, don't power wash, use a commercial car wash if you're taking the automobile in. Turn off the tap. Run those washing machines, your dishwashers only when they're full, and take shorter showers if you can. All common sense stuff just to conserve water. Now, the good news is we're getting our first soaker since late September. The lion's share of that is going to come Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and I'll talk amounts in just a moment. The fire risk will remain elevated the next couple of days, but then be markedly lower as we go through late week into the upcoming weekend, which is great news. We're going to have enough rain that should soak into the soil, really diminish some of the fires around the area and lower the risk. In terms of the rainfall, again, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, the overall steadiest rain may occur over an 8-hour period, but I think there's going to be about a 4-hour period where we really can get some heavy rain and put down some decent rainfall amounts. After that, the storm isn't leaving so quickly. Its upper level system is going to hang around the northeast for a couple of days, leaving us with chilly November temperatures in the upper 40s and also still some lingering showers. So we'll also get the winds cranking up too. It's going to be very brisk and chilly. But thankfully, the winds will not elevate the fire risk just because it'll be damp and actually quite cool as well. A couple of fires that we're watching, the new Lakewood fire that formed during the day on Monday, with a wind that is a little bit lighter out of the northwest on Tuesday. In the morning hours, some of that smoke from Lakewood could go toward Locust Manor, Pine Lake Park, over to Toms River and Bayville. During the midday, a little bit more of a northerly component could have some of the smoke going a little closer to Lakehurst and down to Manchester and Cedar Crest. And then it looks like a sea breeze may actually develop in the afternoon hours, but some of that smoke may be directed a little closer to Brick and Leisure Village, Toms River, and Beechwood again. For the Greenwood Lake fire, the Jennings Creek fire, the smoke in the morning is likely to drift toward Ringwood and Wyckoff. Again, the wind is a lot lighter than it was on Monday. But Fairlawn, Clifton, Kearney, you may smell a little bit of that smoke. And during the afternoon hours, the wind's a little lighter and kind of light and variable around northern New Jersey. So Hewitt, Echo Lake, Mahwah, Franklin Lakes might see a little smoke as well. But overall, moderate air quality during the day on Tuesday. So what a month it's been. I mean, only 2 days here with measurable rainfall, 1 day with a trace. The last 50 days have only seen 3 days with measurable rainfall. And as I was talking about, we're tied for the fifth driest fall on record. The departure for the month of November is nearly 2 inches. But since September 1st, the departure is 9 inches below average. For the year, about 5 inches below average. And see, these reservoirs, they're running 19% below their normal capacity. But there is some hope that some of the higher totals with this system coming in midweek could actually be right over the Catskills and the watershed, so that could help quite a bit. We are in severe to extreme drought across the area. When you talk about extreme drought, that's across parts of southern New Jersey. Unfortunately, the amounts with this system, if we're going to say, let's say the floor of the amounts would be about a ½ inch, that would be more likely the farther south you are. And when we discuss the amount of rain to end the drought and figure, let's say each month we average about 4 inches of liquid, you're talking 2 to 3, even 4 months of rainfall we need to get in order to break this drought. Now, we're not seeing anything like that, but could some of the area get an inch, inch and a half of rainfall? Not out of the question. So let's talk about the setup. We have a big storm that's developing over the middle of the country. It was responsible for severe weather on Monday. It's bringing big winds to the middle of the country. Now, the core of this is actually headed to the north. But if you notice, there's more Pacific energy coming in. And we're looking at a water vapor satellite if you're watching Whether or Not today. Energy coming into the Pacific, going to travel across the Rockies and get incorporated into the circulation. And that's actually the key piece to our low that's going to form over us Wednesday night into Thursday. That will really determine, is this just a progressive system that's going to put a band of rain and make a clean sweep through us, or is there going to be a storm that almost forms right on top of us and enhances that rainfall? And definitely leaning toward the latter. Here's what it looks like on the surface map. The low is redeveloping later in the day on Wednesday, and it intensifies over us, and it's just slower to get through, meaning we get some enhanced rainfall. Pretty good soaking into Thursday morning and still some showers into the day on Thursday. On Friday, the upper level system is still doing laps around upstate New York and in New England, so we're still showery, kind of windy, and rain, by the way, is mixing with snow in some higher elevations over to the Catskills. Real raw, blustery day. More of the same on Saturday. I mean, there's only a passing shower on, but it's blustery and chilly, mostly cloudy skies, and another day in the 40s. So here's what the futurecast looks like on Tuesday morning. There's already a few patchy clouds around, and that is from the system off to the west. But it's going to be a pretty nice day. Sunny to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures are cooler than our Monday levels, which, by the way, we hit a record high at JFK at 70 degrees. The park hit 66 degrees. So we're dropping off those highs, and that'll be about the warmest day for quite a while. Tuesday and Wednesday aren't bad in the upper 50s. There is some hint here that there are a couple of rogue showers from the system that may try to run out and reach the area Tuesday night and Wednesday. The area is still really dry, but I could see maybe an isolated shower Tuesday night. On Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures getting into the upper 50s, limited sunshine. If you're going to see any brightening, it's more likely east of New York City. Now comes the key time on Wednesday night. And the trends have been to slow down the development of this low to the south and enhance it over us. So while I think we could start raining by, let's say, 11 o'clock at night, I think the heaviest rain would be from about 3 or 4 in the morning to about 8, maybe 9 in the morning latest. And you can see that right here. So leading into the morning commute, we get some of our heaviest rain. I wouldn't be surprised to even have a rumble of thunder. So if this trend continues, we're going to post an AccuWeather alert for Thursday morning, just because, number one, we're not used to traveling through all the heavy rain. There'll be a lot of wet leaves around. There could be some ponding. I'm not so concerned about flooding. The ground's going to be able to take all this water. But there certainly could be some ponding on area roadways. Visibilities could be down. And again, roadways are likely to be slick. So the heaviest rain's probably north of New York City by about 9 o'clock in the morning. We're still seeing some heavier showers off to the north and east, even in the early afternoon hours. And look at how some heavier snows are developing along the I-81 corridor. Some wet snow that may try to get into northwest New Jersey, into the Poconos and Catskills later in the day. So when we look at overall rainfall amounts, the lower totals would be off to the south, especially if that low takes a little while longer to develop. If that low were to develop a little earlier, then maybe we could talk about a ½ inch to an inch of rain even over parts of southern New Jersey. We've got to be conservative with it right now. ½ inch to an inch of rain northern New Jersey into New York City and Long Island, although this is certainly trending closer to the inch than the ½ inch, and maybe even a little bit more than that. The best chance for seeing an inch or more probably over northwest New Jersey into the Catskills and Poconos parts of the Hudson Valley. So this would be over a lot of the reservoirs, not necessarily the Croton watershed, but certainly over the Catskills. Just looking at a sampling of what our modeling is trending to, you see how it's almost like 0.6 to about 1.25 inches here. So I do think it's trending a little higher at this time, signaling that maybe the low is forming a little farther to our south and west and intensifying right over us and giving us a best case scenario. We get over 1 inch of rainfall. We'll just see if that trend continues. That piece of energy that is so key to this forecast is still getting on the Pacific coast and working inland and being sampled. So I think we're going to know a lot better as we go through the day on Tuesday. Obviously, our rain chances are doing much better in the short term here as we look at Wednesday night into Thursday being a big impact and even some lingering showers on Friday. Saturday would just be a passing shower around. No big deal there. So in the precipitation forecast, you look at the Climate Prediction Center and we look closer toward Thanksgiving in early December, suggesting more of a near normal pattern. It's below normal still over New England, but I do think this storm is a pattern changer. At least maybe we're not getting soaker after soaker, but we're getting more opportunities to get rounds of rainfall coming in. And in fact, it does look a little unsettled around the Thanksgiving holiday. Pre and post Thanksgiving travel may run into some delays. So we'll be watching that very closely for you as we go into next week. Just looking at the overall steering winds as we go through the middle of the week, this storm is developing and cutting off in the Great Lakes. So anytime you get a cutoff low, things are very, very slow. Things are very amplified here. We've got our best chance of heavy rain there into Thursday morning, and then the storm itself just cuts off over the northeast and kind of does a couple of laps before finally moving out. But that's a chilly air mass into the upcoming weekend. It'll remain rather showery and windy as well. Thankfully, that wind will not elevate the fire risk because it'll be damp and we'll be coming off all that rain. It'll be rather chilly as well. You notice how we start to get a little bit more Pacific air working in and modifying that air mass by the end of the weekend. We'll get some sunshine back and should be a little milder into early next week. I just want to go back to that and show you what's going on into the Thanksgiving time period. Let me just advance it into that stretch leading into Thanksgiving, because what I'm seeing is a pretty broad southwest flow here coming out of the Pacific, even some Gulf moisture there. So you can see how we might have multiple systems coming out of the southwest, traveling through the middle of the country and over us. I don't know the exact timing yet, but that's why I say it might be a little unsettled. It might be slow for travel leading into the Thanksgiving holiday and post-Thanksgiving holiday. In terms of temperatures beyond the 7-day, a Climate Prediction Center is still suggesting that we're near to above normal, but we're not talking about far above normal. I mean, you look at the 10-day trend, we got that chilly stretch later in the week. Sure, we may bump a shade above average 25th and 26th, but I think as we head toward Thanksgiving, we're basically near or below normal there. So even though the signal on the Climate Prediction Center says above normal, it's very, very little deviation from normal. Thankfully, the tropics quieting down. We definitely have some enhancement from the remnants of Sarah into that storm in the middle of the country. I wouldn't say that we're getting, a direct infusion of Sarah's moisture into our system, but it's helping out a little bit. Certainly have Gulf Atlantic moisture and a little bit of Sarah's DNA in there. Thankfully, no organized storms as we move through the next 10 days or so. I don't see anything developing. And of course, hurricane season officially ends on the 30th. Can't wait for that. 46 degrees, 7 in the morning on your Tuesday. Sunshine, some patchy clouds, 30s off to the north and west. Sunshine mixing with patchy clouds at times during the day. Will be in the upper 50s. Still a pleasant day on Tuesday. Remember, tomorrow night might add a brief shower to the forecast. So tomorrow, high of 58, sunny to partly cloudy, cooler and less wind. For tomorrow night, 46, partly to mostly cloudy skies. So here's your 7-day AccuWeather forecast. Add the chance, a slight chance for a shower Tuesday night. On Wednesday, limited sunshine, the clouds taking over, rain coming in at night, maybe late in the evening, but the steadiest is overnight into the first part of Thursday. Also some lingering showers Thursday afternoon. Again, a pretty good soaking on Wednesday night. 49 degrees on Thursday. On Friday, only 47. Still some showers around and some higher elevation snowflakes. On Saturday, remaining blustery, not a lot of rain around, just a passing shower. And then we'll still be a little breezy on Sunday, but we'll brighten the skies up a little bit and get back to 50 degrees. Should be in the low 50s on Monday, not as windy. So again, the timing and totals of the rainfall still going to be tweaking over the next 24 hours, but growing confidence in a good soaking rain across the area. Something will definitely lower the fire risk and maybe take a tiny little dent out of the drought. We'll keep you posted on that. Thanks as always for listening to Whether or Not. We'll see you next time, rain or shine.